everyone! Welcome to my FlossTube channel. This is my first video in my Stitch With Me series for Mini Forget-Me-Not by Rachel Anderson from Heaven and Earth Designs. I thought I would start off by going from the very beginning of the process that I go through for starting a full coverage stitch. So the first thing you're going to do is calculate the size of the fabric that you need. So you can see on the chart that it is 176 stitches wide. So you're going to enter that in your calculator. And it's 264 stitches in height. So then I've already selected 18 count because I know that's the fabric that I want to stitch on. But of course, everybody has a preference. For me, 18 count is my favorite, and I felt that would do it justice. And so now you have to decide how many inches you want on each side. 2 is a safe option of 2 inches on either side of the entire project. I'm going to say 3 just in case, and now the calculator will do it for you. So here it's showing you that it's the finished piece of the stitched area is going to be 9.78 by 14.67 inches. But the fabric size, because I entered in 3 inches, is going to be 15.7 by 20.6. So I'm going to round that up. I'm going to say I need 16 inches by 20.5 inches. Okay, so let's begin. So as we know, I already selected the fabric that I wanted. I have this lovely purple-ish kind of material that I wanted to stitch with. Now, I'm lucky enough because I bought this from Stitch With Me, and the edges are already serged. Right, so I don't have to worry about that, and then the other edge is a finished edge. So, but I did want to show you what I would do in the case that once you cut your fabric, if you need to secure your edges. So just for the sake of showing you how I would go about that, normally I've selected another project of mine where I didn't already have the edges done. So this is one of my projects that you'll probably recognize from my FlossTube video. So you're going to go on the back side of it, and what I use is this tape and a little mini iron. And what we're going to do is we're going to seal the edges of the project so that it doesn't, the strands don't come out. So let's begin. So the first thing you want to do is to prepare your surface that you're going to work on, because the glue will transfer onto the table or whatever surface you're using. So I just have some scrap paper laid there. Then what we're going to do is lay the project on this. Now this is self-adhesive tape that you can find in any craft store. And I'm not sure if you can see the little texture of the glue in there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to cut off the length of that I need. So I'm going to cut it off right about there. And I'm going to cut it off there with just a little bit extra, just in case. Okay, now, once your iron is nice and hot, and I have this little mini iron that I like to use, I'm going to switch my material around so it's this way. Okay. Oops, sorry. Okay. So you're going to start with the glue end on the bottom of the material. Okay. And then you're going to start to heat it with your iron. You can see it slowly starting to stick. Just keep it nice and smooth along the edge. And then once one side is stuck on, all you have to do is peel away the paper edge. And you can see that, shiny edge there? That's the glue that's stuck to the fabric. Now what you have to do, oh, I have a little bit extra here, but okay. Now where the tape ended, you're gonna fold over. I'm gonna fold it over like this, so it's the same width that the tape was. And then what you have to do is heat it again with your iron. Watch your fingers. And you're going to heat it until it melts together and you have a nice clean edge to work from. Isn't that lovely? So now you won't have any frayed edges and any threads unraveling as you stitch and work with your project over and over again with your frame or your Q-snap. And there you go. So then you can just cut the little extra bit there. So as you can see, it's a nice clean edge that you can work on. It's wonderful. So then you continue to do the other one. The corners may be a little bit difficult because you're going to have to double fold, and so you just have to hold the iron a little bit longer and you have to press the corner to make sure it seals properly, but it really does a wonderful job. So that's how I normally seal my projects. However, this time I had a pre-serged fabric, so that's how we're going to begin. And there you go. Let's move on to the next step. So the next step for us now is to prepare our fabric for stitching. So we know what size we need, but since my fabric was already pre-cut, I will have some extra because it's bigger than what the calculations suggested. So regardless, I am going to start with my 3-inch borders on each side, same as what you would have to do if you cut your fabric exactly with how much you needed. So first off, we're going to remove the staple so that we can get, okay, all right, so that's gone, and now we will begin. So we calculated it with a 3-inch border, so what you have to do, and I'm going to zoom in here so that you can see. So when you've got the 3-inch border that you want to work with, you're going to go from the edge of this side and you're going to go in 3 inches, and you're approximately going to mark where your 3 inches falls. Then the same, you're going to go this way and you're going to find where the 3-inch mark will land you. And as you can see, we are looking at approximately this line. So the fabric calculations told me I needed 16 by 20, and as you can tell by my little card on my fabric, I have 18 by 21. So I'm gonna have extra. I'm gonna have extra on both sides, on all 4 sides. So we're gonna keep with our 3-inch border because that's a safe number to work with. Okay, so let's go. And then all you have to do now is find where these lines are going to meet. So I'm going to bring it down approximately this way. I'm probably off by a couple of stitches, but let's bring this one over. Keep going. And here we go. So this is our starting point. Okay, I like to just draw a line this way so we know nicely where we're starting from. So now we are going to start gridding our fabric. Okay, so I'm going to do 10 by 10 stitches, at least enough for the first page, and then we can go from there. So let's begin. see, we now have, I'm going to try and zoom out there. So now you can see we have a nicely gridded fabric ready for stitching. And I should have mentioned that I use a water-soluble pen to mark my grid. I find it's the most convenient and it washes out no problem afterwards. I've never had any trouble with it, knock on wood. But there you go. Now we're ready to start stitching. How exciting. So now that we've got the fabric done, the sizing done, measurements done, gridding done, our next step is to place it on your Q-snap or frame. I prefer Q-snap. I just find it easier to work with than a hoop. Sometimes I find the hoops a little bit too tight. I do like my fabric to be nice and tight, but okay. So since we're going to be starting working in that upper corner, sorry, I keep knocking the camera. So since we're going to be working in that upper corner, we are going to line it up. Okay, so we've got enough room. You can go to the edge. It depends on how comfortable you are with your needle close to the edge of the fabric, okay? Then you're going to place the first clamp. I always get excited about this part when you get to put in your first Q-snap on. Okay, next you're going to, I always fold my fabric over to give it a little extra tension. Go a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to grab another clamp. Okay, so we've got 2 of them on. Then we're going to go on the side. Clamp it down, and then your final side, again, fold the fabric over. And away we go. And there you have it. You are now ready to start stitching. Now, before you actually get to put in your first stitch, you got to put it on whatever frame you're going to work on. If you're going to hold it in hand, fantastic. For me, for these Stitch With Me videos, I believe the best way for me to do it is to use my lap stand or table stand frame. So this is the frame. I think I did it was part of one of my floss tube videos. So if you want to check it out, you can go there. But it's really lovely. It's got a nice solid base, and it has all these options to adjust the height and the angle of your stitching. So we're going to begin by placing the frame. And now, because you've marked that starting corner, you know that this is your upper left-hand corner. So you're going to start, I'm going to put it in the clamp and tighten up. There we go. Nice and tight. And now we are officially ready to begin Mini Forget-Me-Not by Heaven and Earth Designs. Can't wait to stitch with you. Come stitch with me.